The governor of Kogi State and presidential aspirant of the APC, Yahaya Bello, says he remains the leading candidate of the All Progressives Congress and will only step down if President Muhammadu Buhari asks him to do so. He says any decision to exclude him from the ballot is a recipe for bigger trouble for the party. Yahaya Bello made this known after meeting with the president at the presidential villa in Abuja on Tuesday. He also clarified why he stormed out of the Progressives Governors meeting with the NWC yesterday. Governor Yahaya Bello says he was not consulted over the decision of northern governors and he remains opposed to rotation of power. He says the visit to the president was to clear the air on his actions.
I am a free citizen, a free member of the party, a qualified member of the party. I contested. I'm contesting. I bought the form. I was cleared to participate in the election. And no reason for me to be excluded from the ballot. If they do so, then that is a recipe for a bigger trouble for the party. However, I don't think it's a decision of the party. It is a decision of few elites who may decide to use their whatever position to suppress the so-called minority. But I want to prove that in this country, I am not in the minority. We have the majority. I belong to the younger generation. I belong to the generation of Nigerians that are oppressed, and they are saying they must have their voice. And I believe strongly that getting into that arena today, I will win overwhelmingly. If the process and the normal regulations are followed, I will emerge victorious. I respect President Muhammadu Buhari, the leader of our party, and I respect the party. If the president asks me to step down, I will do. Mr. President did not ask anyone to step down. Mr. President said, let the delegate decide who becomes the flag bearer of our party. And he did not say anyone should be excluded.
While it is the season of apprehension, tension, hope, shattering, and dreams come true, as the ruling All Progressives Congress is set for its presidential primary in Abuja, where it will be picking one candidate to represent the party in the country's 2023 election. Arise correspondent Onyi Sunday, who has been standing by at the venue in the Federal Capital Territory and keeping tab on proceedings, now joins us for a situation report. Onyi, good to have you on Newsday. Please bring us up to speed with preparations at the convention.
Well, thank you very much. Welcome to the live coverage of the APC Special Convention Presidential Primaries 2022, taking place at Eagle Square at the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Yes, it is happening here once again. It almost feels like a deja vu. A couple of months ago, we were here covering the convention. Well, as it is right now, we do not have the number we're expecting to fill up this venue at the end of the day. There is heavy security presence. In fact, it took hours for journalists to gain access to this particular venue today. Let's put a bit of background, really. I mean, 28 forms sold at a cost that sends shivers down spines and pockets. 23 screened after 5, including ministers, realized they couldn't eat their cake and have it. When it comes to the APC, there is sure to be intrigue, drama. I'm just going to add there, say suspense. Almost sounds like I'm advertising a Nollywood movie, but that is what it is when it comes to the APC. I have been overwhelmed with information about what's been playing out in the party since yesterday. Some speculations, others facts. But one thing is for sure, whatever played out in the dark will come to light today when our delegates gather. So far, we know that the governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, is present at the moment, according to the MC who spoke a couple of seconds before you came live. He did mention that the governor is on ground to ensure that proceedings are running smoothly. Over 2,000 delegates are going to be expected here today, and surely with their supporters to make that ultimate decision. We have heard about the stories playing out. Will there be a consensus candidate? Is there a preferred candidate or not? Or the fact that other parties will say, you know what, why don't you come here and test your popularity? We're going to wait to see how that plays out. Dignitaries are still stepping. We do know that this started yesterday, but yesterday was all about accreditation. Today, delegates will come in here registered and the real politicking will begin. But many who might disagree to say the real politicking did take place last night or night before. But to tell you more about what's going to play out here today, we have political correspondent here with us, Ndee Amaugo, to tell us more about what to expect from this very dramatic and interesting convention. But thank you so much, Ndee, for joining us here.
Thank you,
today.
Onyi.
This is your turf, really. You are familiar with the players. They're going to be coming in here today. What should we expect? Just give us a rundown.
What should we expect? I think you've mentioned quite a bit of it. There's going to be drama, intrigue, as it is with politics. I mean, just yesterday, I was at the Secretary Buhari house when, it came out from the stable of APC, NWC, by the chairman that Lawan has been picked as a consensus candidate. Now, the members of the NWC themselves said, no, we're not agreeing with this. I mean, the National Organizing Secretary and the person of Suleiman Arugungu came out to address the press saying that we just came for the meeting. And the next thing was the chairman, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, saying that Lawan is now the consensus candidate. And he said he just dropped the name on us like you drop a bomb, and then he said that Buhari knows about it. And they had to come out, they were fuming. They had to come out and say, no, politics is local. Our governors are not in on this. By the way, the governors from the northern region came together and said, power must shift to the south. So they said, we're still standing on that. In fact, as that journalist briefing was going on, press briefing was going on, the governors had to run to meet the president. And the president said, I do not have any anointed candidate. Everybody should go and do their stuff. I do not have any anointed candidate. So the governors, while we were still there, because we had to wait, all the governors, about 17 of them, you had Governor Sanwo-Olu of Lagos, you had Masari of Katsina, you had Zulum of Borno State, you had Abubakar Badaru of Jigawa State. All of them were there waiting for the chairman. What we heard was that the chairman said that there was traffic jam, so he couldn't make it to the 40 Blantyre Street headquarters of the APC. So what the governors then did was now to go to the chairman's house to meet him there and then probably hold a meeting. So when you talk about intrigues, drama, it's playing out. The governors are still standing and saying that, look, we want power to shift to the north. That's what's on ground now.
Which actually kind of created that confusion, when the news about, Lawan trickled in. Again, just like I mentioned earlier, what has played out in the dark will surely come to light today. But still staying on this particular topic, Ndee, what do you think is likely to play out here today? We understand that things really do not go according to the program here in Nigeria. And so we're going to be seeing the heavyweights coming much later in the day. Speeches will be made. There are even those who believe that this might just end up being a boulevard of broken dreams for most politicians at the end, of the primaries here today. But what do you think might play out today? What should we expect?
Well, one thing is absolutely clear, and the fact is that people will lose, people will win. That's just it. Some people are going to lose, some people are going to win. But what the president himself, Muhammadu Buhari, is trying to do, he says, I don't want a field of candidates, aspirants, so that it will not be unwieldy or cumbersome to manage. So that's what the president has asked the aspirants or contestants, if you like, to go sit down together amongst themselves and get a formidable candidate that will make sure they win the election. So definitely, some are going to lose, some are going to win. But one thing is clear, during the screening process, all the candidates except for one said whatever the party decides, if they decide on one person, we will step down and support the person. Even the former governor of Lagos said, just like the electoral law amended, even if you're going to have a consensus candidate, there has to be a written agreement when you get, for example, if you become the consensus, the rest of the aspirants are going to sign the dotted line saying that we agree that this is the chosen person. If that is not done, you're going to have a problem. So that's what's on ground.
What's going to play out here today. Of course, we're going to be getting more updates about what is playing out at this very venue today. And like I said, we actually have more of security personnel seated in this particular venue. But in the next couple of hours, trust me, the colors will begin to come. And I've seen some of those colors here today. Everyone identifying with their own songs, of course, will be sang here today. That's for sure. I've heard some days before now. Die-hard supporters will trickle in, and even uninvited guests who would definitely try to force their way into this place. So I'm sure it's really going to get a bit rowdy much later. Back to you now.
Correspondent Onyi, thank you so much for reporting on Newsday, and please do stay safe.